Gorilla vs. Orangutan, Battle of the Primate Giants. In the dense, sun-dappled jungles of Africa and Southeast Asia, two of the most remarkable primates rule in silence: the gorilla, a ground-shaking powerhouse of the African forest, and the orangutan, a solitary acrobat weaving through the treetops of Borneo and Sumatra. They are separated by oceans and evolution, destined never to cross paths in the wild. But imagine if they did. This is more than just a what-if scenario. As a specialist who has studied both species closely, I invite you to dive into a unique exploration not of violence, but of strength, intelligence, and adaptation. What defines power in the primate world? Is it muscle, strategy, or the ability to endure? Let's find out. Round 1. The power of size, strength forged by evolution. Gorilla, the mountain of muscle. When it comes to size and raw physical power, no other primate on Earth rivals the eastern gorilla, Gorilla burengei. A fully grown silverback male can stand up to 1.8 meters 5 feet 11 in tall and weigh an astonishing 270 to 275 kilograms 600 plus lbs. To put it simply, this is a primate that shares the forest floor with elephants and buffalo and doesn't back down. Their bodies are biologically optimized for strength. Massive deltoids and pectorals make their chest and shoulders appear armor-plated. Arms reaching over 2 meters 6.6 feet give them a reach advantage and leverage in both movement and combat. Estimated lifting capacity, over 800 to 900 kilograms 1,800 to 2,000 pounds, the weight of a compact car. In captivity, gorillas have been observed effortlessly bending steel bars and hurling heavy objects with ease. In the wild, silverbacks use their strength to rip apart dense vegetation, snap thick bamboo stalks like twigs, and ward off predators or rival males. Their strength is not just muscular, it's social and territorial. Dominance is enforced through power displays that rarely need to escalate into actual violence. Orangutan, the silent strong man of the trees. The orangutan pongo spp, though more solitary and arboreal, is no physical weakling. Wild adult males grow up to 1.3 meters 4 feet 3 in and typically weigh 120 to 130 kilograms 265 to 290 pounds, with some individuals in captivity exceeding 200 kilograms 440 pounds due to abundant food and low activity. But their strength is of a different kind: functional strength, adapted for an aerial lifestyle. Their arm span can reach to 0.2 meters 7.2 feet, even longer than that of the gorilla. With hook-like fingers and extraordinary grip, they suspend their entire body weight from a single limb for long periods. Their shoulder and hip joints are more flexible than any other great ape, allowing for near gymnastic tree movement. Orangutans are known to dismantle complex fruit structures with surgical precision. In rehab centers, they've been seen unscrewing bolts, unlocking cages, and constructing basic tools while using their upper body strength to swing heavy objects or escape enclosures. The verdict: advantage, gorilla in raw power. If we're comparing brute strength alone, the gorilla is in a league of its own. Its ground-based anatomy, thick musculature, and territorial role have led it to evolve as the ultimate heavyweight of the primate world. But don't underestimate the orangutan. While not built for direct confrontation, its upper body control, limb strength, and precision coordination make it a formidable athlete of the treetops. In 2019, a study measuring the grip strength of orangutans showed that they outperform professional climbers in upper body efficiency and fatigue resistance. That's the kind of power you don't see but you'd never want to challenge. Round 2. Fighting style and strategy. Brains, brawn, and survival instincts. Gorilla, the reluctant warrior. Despite their immense size and fearsome appearance, gorillas are not natural aggressors. In fact, most silverbacks spend their lives peacefully leading their groups, mediating social disputes, and protecting infants. But when provoked or when their group is threatened, a gorilla becomes one of the most formidable combatants in the animal kingdom. With a bite force of approximately 1,300 psi, a gorilla can crush thick bones or bark with ease comparable to predators like lions and tigers. Their primary combat tools are massive fists, delivering punches that can shatter ribs or knock an opponent off their feet. Before escalating to violence, gorillas engage in dramatic threat displays, deep chest beating, thunderous roars, and intense eye contact, all designed to end a confrontation before it begins. In a documented silverback standoff in Rwanda's Volcanoes National Park, two males clashed over group leadership. The dominant male didn't win with speed but with sheer presence and one overpowering blow that sent the challenger tumbling down a hillside. Guerrilla combat isn't chaotic, it's calculated and purposeful. Fights are usually short, explosive, and decisive. They aim to neutralize threats swiftly, relying on their overwhelming strength and intimidation rather than prolonged battles. Orangutan, the strategic survivor. In stark contrast, the orangutan is a lone strategist. These forest dwellers are not fighters by nature, they are thinkers, escape artists, and improvisers. Their solitary lifestyle in the treetops has shaped a very different approach to conflict. Orangutans are incredibly agile, capable of swinging through the canopy with precision and vanishing from danger within seconds. When threatened, they use rapid strikes, slaps, and startling vocalizations, including thunderous howls and air sac inflation, to appear larger and more menacing. Rather than overpower an opponent, orangutans rely on evasion, deception, and psychological tactics to avoid direct confrontation. At a rehabilitation center in Borneo, a dominant male orangutan was observed using a stick as a decoy weapon, waving it furiously while retreating. This caused his aggressor, younger male, to hesitate just long enough for him to escape up into the trees. Not brute force, but brilliance. Orangutans have an edge in spatial awareness and object manipulation. Their ability to assess threats, calculate escape routes, and even use rudimentary tools gives them a tactical edge in hostile situations, especially in arboreal terrain. Guerrilla takes the advantage in raw, close-quarters combat. If cornered, the silverback is nearly unmatched in its ability to deliver decisive force and intimidate through posture and sound. Orangutan shines in intelligent evasion and adaptive defense. In a world where not fighting can mean surviving another day, the orangutan plays chess while others play checkers. If a confrontation were inevitable and took place on the ground, the gorilla's superior strength would likely dominate. But if the orangutan could use the trees or outmaneuver the conflict entirely, it might never need to throw a punch to win. Round 3. Endurance and survival tactics, power in motion, strength in silence. Guerrilla, the ground commander. When we think of endurance in the animal kingdom, it's not just about running marathons, it's about mental resilience, daily physical demands, and constant social vigilance. For the silverback gorilla, survival is a full-time job. As the leader of a group that may include up to 30 members, a silverback must patrol his territory, fend off rival males, and mediate social tensions. His days are filled with slow but steady travel through dense forests, navigating rough terrain and climbing low trees in search of food. While not built for long chases, gorillas are capable of intense, high-energy bursts of strength when provoked, whether it's charging a rival or hoisting their massive bodies through dense undergrowth. Their endurance is not measured in distance, but in their capacity to carry the weight of leadership day after day. A silverback in Volcanoes National Park was observed traveling over 1.5 kilometers through steep jungle terrain to intercept an encroaching rival group, only to stand his ground without physical violence, using body language alone. That's energy and endurance with strategic restraint. Orangutan, the silent nomad. By contrast, the orangutan moves through its world in elegant silence. These apes lead solitary lives high in the forest canopy of Borneo and Sumatra, where endurance is about efficiency, patience, and spatial mastery. An adult orangutan can swing across 30 meters of treetop canopy in a matter of seconds, with arms that span over 2.2 meters. Their gripped strength rivals elite rock climbers, enabling them to hang from branches for extended periods without fatigue. Orangutans travel over 1 kilometer per day in search of fruit, using a highly energy-conserving method called quadruminous locomotion, using all four limbs to move fluidly between branches. Instead of meeting danger head-on, they rely on stealth, flexibility, and their deep knowledge of the forest layout to avoid threats altogether. In a Bornean rainforest, a male orangutan was documented building a complex nest with a rainproof canopy high in the trees. This wasn't just survival, it was energy-efficient engineering, repeated daily. Orangutans demonstrate strategic endurance. They don't waste calories on unnecessary displays or confrontations. Their lifestyle is a masterclass in long-term survival, especially in the face of shrinking habitats. Natural weapons, teeth, muscle, mind, Both gorillas and orangutans possess long canine teeth, but these are primarily used for show, not bloodshed. In battles of intimidation, the flash of a gorilla's canines or the terrifying bellow of an orangutan can end conflicts before they begin. Gorillas are like mobile fortresses, thick muscle layered over bone, backed by explosive power. Orangutans, by contrast, are stealthy tacticians, often likened to forest ninjas for their agility and unpredictability. While both species are highly intelligent, they use their minds differently. Gorillas manage complex social hierarchies, negotiate alliances, and discipline unruly group members. Orangutans exhibit problem-solving genius, including tool use, self-medication with forest plants, and even future planning, a sign of abstract intelligence once believed to be uniquely human. Hypothetical battle, ground versus canopy, on the ground. The gorilla wins by overwhelming force. A silverback's sheer power and territorial aggression would likely overpower an orangutan. In the trees, the orangutan is almost untouchable. Its three-dimensional mobility and evasive skills make it nearly impossible for a ground-based gorilla to catch it. In nature, there are no winners in unnecessary conflict, only survivors. And both species have evolved to master their respective domains. Where gorillas dominate through strength and authority, orangutans thrive through caution and cunning. The real battle, not between each other but against extinction. As fascinating as these what-if scenarios may be, they pale in comparison to the real conflict facing both species, the struggle to survive in the modern world. Gorillas are critically endangered due to poaching, disease, and habitat destruction from logging and mining. Orangutans are in crisis, losing up to 80% of their habitat in just a few decades, mainly due to illegal palm oil plantations and deforestation. These animals are more than evolutionary marvels, they are keystone species, critical to the health of their ecosystems. They are living legacies of our shared ancestry and a test of humanity's willingness to protect what cannot protect itself. We don't need to pit gorilla against orangutan to find meaning in their story. The true fight is for preservation, not domination. And it's one we all must join before it's too late. Are gorillas and orangutans dangerous to humans? As a wildlife expert, one of the most common questions I get asked is, can gorillas or orangutans attack humans? It's a valid question, given the sheer size and strength of these magnificent creatures. But the answer isn't as simple as a straightforward yes or no. The risk of an attack depends on various factors, such as the animal's behavior, the situation, and most importantly, the human's actions. Let's dive into the dynamics of both species and understand when, why, and how they might react to human interaction. Gorillas, gentle giants, until provoked. Despite their imposing size and immense strength, gorillas are not naturally aggressive toward humans. In fact, they are known to be surprisingly gentle, peaceful, and social animals, especially within their own family groups. These majestic creatures, particularly the silverback males, tend to avoid confrontation when possible. However, like any wild animal, gorillas are not without their limits when it comes to protecting their territory or loved ones. The role of the silverback. The silverback gorilla is the dominant male of the group and plays an essential role in keeping the family safe. His job is clear: protect the group at all costs. If he perceives a threat, whether from a human or another animal, his protective instincts kick in. A silverback may exhibit the following behaviors when he feels his group is in danger. Displaying dominance, he may beat his chest, roar loudly, or perform mock charges to assert his presence and intimidate. Charging. If the perceived threat continues, he may charge towards the intruder, not to attack immediately, but to scare them off. This display of strength is often enough to deter the threat. Physical force. In extreme cases, if the intruder does not retreat or continues to pose a danger, the silverback may use physical force to neutralize the threat. The vast majority of gorilla attacks on humans occur only when the gorilla feels cornered, threatened, or provoked. In nearly all ecotourism settings, where humans safely observe gorillas in their natural habitats, attacks are rare because trained guides ensure that appropriate distances are maintained at all times, creating a safe environment for both humans and gorillas. Orangutans, solitary, smart, and shy. In contrast to gorillas, orangutans are solitary animals and prefer isolation, spending most of their time alone high in the treetops of Southeast Asia's rainforests. Their arboreal lifestyle, moving through the forest canopy, is central to their daily existence. Because of this, They rarely encounter humans in the wild and tend to avoid conflict at all costs. However, the situation changes in certain circumstances. Behavior in the wild. In their natural habitat, wild orangutans are extremely cautious. They have learned to avoid human presence and do not engage in physical confrontations unless absolutely necessary. They are not territorial in the same way gorillas are, but they will defend themselves if provoked or if they feel threatened. Behavior in captivity. The real issue arises when orangutans are removed from their natural environments. In captivity, whether in zoos or the illegal pet trade, orangutans are often stressed, isolated, and disoriented. Their natural instincts are disrupted, and they can become unpredictable. Under these conditions, an orangutan may bite or strike if it feels trapped, cornered, or frightened. Use its incredible strength in its hands and jaws to defend itself. An adult male orangutan's bite can cause significant damage, and though rare, this kind of injury is possible in captivity where the orangutan feels threatened. While injuries in the wild are rare, stressed orangutans in captivity have been known to lash out unpredictably. Unlike gorillas, which have a social structure and the presence of a leader to maintain peace, orangutans' solitary nature means they lack these social buffers, and their reactions can be more unpredictable. Bottom line, respect equals safety. In conclusion, neither gorillas nor orangutans are inherently dangerous to humans. However, human behavior plays a critical role in shaping the likelihood of an incident. Respectful interaction and maintaining a safe distance is key to ensuring that both humans and primates are safe. In the wild, these animals are not aggressive by nature, and most of the time, they will choose to avoid human interaction altogether. Invasion of their space, aggressive behavior, or forcing them into captivity can trigger defensive actions, increasing the chances of aggression. With proper behavior, such as respecting their boundaries and listening to professional guides in ecotourism settings, it's entirely safe and awe-inspiring to observe these incredible animals in their natural environment. When humans invade their territory, capture them for entertainment, or treat them as pets, the risk of aggression increases significantly. Not only is this dangerous for humans, but it's also detrimental to the well-being of these already threatened species. Respecting the wild. Ultimately, gorillas and orangutans should be seen as symbols of natural wonder and ecological importance, not threats to be feared. Understanding their behaviors and respecting their space ensures that we can enjoy them from a safe distance while allowing them to thrive in the wild. Would you like to explore more on this topic or any other aspects of primate behavior? Feel free to ask. Should gorillas or orangutans be kept as pets? The short answer, no, and here's why. While it's tempting to think that baby gorillas or orangutans could make cute and manageable pets, the reality is far more complicated and concerning. These animals, despite their innocent appearances as infants, are wild, intelligent beings that have complex needs far beyond what can be offered in a home setting. Keeping them as pets is not only dangerous, but it also raises serious ethical and conservation issues. Let's break it down. 1. They are wild animals, not domesticated pets. Unlike dogs or cats, which have been domesticated over thousands of years, gorillas and orangutans are wild animals with instincts, behaviors, and needs that simply cannot be met in a household setting. Gorillas. Imagine having an animal that can grow to over 400 pounds of muscle, capable of lifting 900 kilograms, the equivalent of a small car. A silverback gorilla is essentially a living tank. Its strength is unimaginable. This is not a creature suited to a life in your living room, no matter how cute it might appear as an infant. Orangutans, while more solitary, also possess incredible strength and unpredictable behavior, particularly during mating season. In their natural habitat, they navigate the forest canopy, often swinging across vast distances. In captivity, they may become easily frustrated or frightened, leading to dangerous behavior. As these animals mature, their needs for space and stimulation grow exponentially, and when these needs are unmet, their behavior becomes even more erratic and potentially harmful. Primates, including gorillas and orangutans, are not suited for domestic environments. Their wild instincts and powerful bodies make them dangerous in homes that don't provide the right space, socialization, and care. 2. They have complex physical and emotional needs. Both gorillas and orangutans are highly intelligent, socially complex, and emotionally sensitive creatures. Their needs are not limited to just food and shelter. They require large, natural environments. Gorillas need dense forests, while orangutans require vast stretches of tree cover to thrive. Social interaction. Gorillas live in tight-knit family groups, and orangutans, though solitary, still need interaction with their own kind for their mental well-being. Mental stimulation. These primates are problem solvers. Without regular challenges, they can become bored, leading to depression, aggression, and even self-harm. Specialized diets. Both species require very specific diets that are difficult to replicate in captivity. When these physical, emotional, and psychological needs are not met, tragic consequences can occur. Many primates kept as pets suffer from severe mental health issues, often resulting in destructive behavior or even self-harm, a stark indication of the deep distress these animals are under when deprived of their natural lifestyle. 3. It's illegal and supports wildlife crime. In almost every country, including the United States, it is illegal to keep a gorilla or orangutan as a pet. Yet, despite these laws, the illegal wildlife trade continues to thrive, fueled by the demand for exotic pets. How do these animals end up as pets? To supply the demand for infant primates, poachers often kill the mother in the wild to capture the baby, who is then trafficked into the pet trade. This illegal activity has a devastating impact on the species, further driving them toward extinction. Poaching decimates wild populations. Deforestation increases as more land is cleared to make room for illegal animal trafficking. The illegal wildlife trade remains a huge driver of species extinction, and by purchasing or owning a gorilla or orangutan as a pet, you are directly contributing to these activities. 4. They don't stay cute forever. Many people are drawn to infant gorillas or orangutans because of their undeniable cuteness. But the reality is, these animals grow fast and develop immense power and complex behaviors. Gorillas can grow into massive adult males that are strong enough to crush objects, and their natural behaviors, such as aggression and dominance, can become overwhelming for an unprepared owner. Orangutans, with their need for vast space to roam and swing, become increasingly difficult to care for as they mature. They can develop frustration and aggression when confined. Sanctuaries around the world are filled with primates that were surrendered by owners who couldn't manage their growth, behavior, and needs. These animals often cannot be reintroduced into the wild, as they've become too dependent on humans or have learned behaviors incompatible with survival in the wild. The responsible alternative: support conservation. If you truly care about gorillas and orangutans, the ethical path is to support their conservation. Here are a few ways you can help. Visit ethical sanctuaries that prioritize the well-being of these animals and allow them to live in environments that mimic their natural habitats. Support conservation programs aimed at protecting their natural ecosystems and fighting against deforestation and the illegal pet trade. Raise awareness about the importance of preserving these species in the wild and educate others on the dangers of keeping such intelligent, wild animals as pets. By respecting their natural behaviors and understanding their true needs, we can ensure that these magnificent creatures remain protected and thriving in their native habitats where they truly belong. While baby gorillas and orangutans may seem irresistible at first glance, keeping them as pets is never a viable or ethical option. These animals belong in the wild, not in cages, homes, or backyards. The more we support ethical sanctuaries and conservation efforts, the better the chances we have of ensuring that gorillas and orangutans will survive in their natural habitats for generations to come. Don't miss out on more epic showdowns, wild facts, and expert insights into the world of our closest relatives in nature. Subscribe now and join our growing troop of wildlife lovers. Hit the bell so you never miss a beat from the jungle canopy to the forest floor. Let's explore, learn, and protect together.